Hi, and what to expect at your 37-week onwards prenatal appointments with your midwife or obstetrician, which at this point are typically weekly, so probably 37, 38, 39, 40, and maybe 41. Hi, I'm Fray, and I'm a semi-retired senior midwife and a best-selling maternity author. And if you've been watching any of the previous What to Expect in Your Prenatal Appointment videos, you'll know that we've already, by the time you're fully cooked at 37 weeks, you want to have ticked off all the topics that need ticking off. So now these appointments, the 37, 38, 39 and 40 week appointments can generally be pretty quick. 10, 15 minutes might be all it takes. And the important things that are getting done then are basically a weekly check of your blood pressure to make sure that you're not getting pregnancy-induced hypertension or that leading on to preeclamptic toxemia, because this is when you're most vulnerable. Urinalysis dipstick, so that's checking your wee to make sure if there's any glucose in your wee. You might be getting a little bit of late gestational diabetes, or whether there's any protein in your wee, which can be a sign of sort of kidney dysfunction, distress, that you've got some preeclamptic toxemia coming in. A trace of either is fine, by the way. It's really more if you've got a 1, 2, or definitely 3 pluses of that as a dipstick. Another sort of abdominal palpation to check the lie and descent or engagement of your baby, making sure it's still cephalic, and hopefully sort of feeling that baby's head is starting to engage in your pelvis, particularly if this is your first time baby, your first birth that you're going to have, your first full-term baby. We really want around sort of 35, 36 weeks that baby's head to be starting to engage. If you're what we call a primip, which is a first birth. If you're a multip, so this is not your first rodeo, and quite often those babies don't engage till the woman's in labor. So that's fine with those subsequent, second and subsequent, labours leading on to vaginal births. So what does get discussed, though, or sort of just touching base, often women, ask the question of, well, what happens if I go post-dates? So basically a reminder that is absolutely normal for a healthy, normal pregnancy to not go into spontaneous labour until any time up until 42 weeks. And quite a bit of research would say up to 43 weeks is also regarded as, within a spectrum of normal. But, what happens if you do go over? Now, a couple of things to point out there. Firstly, I remember reading some years ago, a research paper that basically said that for a first time labour birth pregnancy, the average birth was 41 weeks and 3 days. Okay, so what I would say is, don't be using the words, oh, my baby's early, or oh, my baby's late. Unless your baby is born before 37 weeks, it's never early. And if your baby is born after 42 or 43 weeks, then it is late. But anywhere from 37 to 42 weeks is not early and not late. This is a normal time for your body to go into spontaneous labour. Don't be yearning for your baby to arrive, okay? Especially if this is your first. Just please cherish whatever time you, as a mother-to-be, and you as a couple, you have a partner, just treasure and honour and respect that time and love every minute of it. And if you hear yourself about to say things like, oh, I just can't wait till this baby gets here, zip it up. No, of course you can wait. I'm a strong believer that your baby chooses its birthday, and it chose its birthday a long time ago, regardless of the circumstances. I've just had so many years of having the most amazing coincidences occur, that the baby's been born on the same date as its grandmother's birthday or things like that. There's always so much synchronicity going on. So just trust your baby that it has a plan. It knows when it wants to be born. So just sit back and allow that to happen. And also just honor the fact that these are the last days of your life, if it's your first, where you're only responsible for you. Because once that baby arrives, oh my God, a bomb is going to go off. So getting back to what happens. From 41 weeks onwards, this would be my recommendation of the plan, or something along these lines, for a healthy, normal, low-risk pregnancy. Okay, so at 41 weeks, if you're offered a stretch and sweep of your cervix, I would go, yep, yes, please. It is a form of intervention, but it's a very mild form, and certainly we want you going into labour at this point. With a first-time mother-to-be, I would never consider doing a stretch and sweep on a healthy, normal pregnancy before 41 weeks. However, if you're a multi, look, this is your second or third baby, you just want to get, we know you're going to labour quite quickly and get on with it. So I would look at doing a stretch and sweep by maternal request at 40 weeks. But otherwise, at 41 weeks, I would be recommending it. And this is a vaginal exam where we go in and we sweep the membranes around the head of the baby, in your cervix and around the head of the baby. We sweep them, and then we stretch your cervix a little bit. So it's a stretch and a sweep. It should be mildly uncomfortable, not terribly painful, just a bit uncomfortable. Okay, so then also at 41 weeks would be a sensible time to be doing a growth scan, a post-dates growth scan, because this would be looking not just at this estimated weight of the baby, that it's been thriving and it's still putting on good weight, but also checking the amount of waters around the baby, and checking other things that we call BPP, biparietal physical profiles, and the Dopplers of the placental blood flow and other stuff like that. That's technical, but we want to make sure that everything's looking all honky-dory, and that your placenta's just doing a great job, and baby's happy chappy and everything's looking good. So that would be good to do that. Ideally, I always try and get that done exactly at 41 weeks and 0 days, or 41 weeks and plus 1. Then at 41 weeks plus 3, I would like to do a CTG on that woman. So that's, 2 or 3 days after she's had that scan, just do another little check. So the CTG is again putting the belt around the baby, belt around your belly, and just doing a little printout of the baby's heart, a little trace of the baby's heart, for us to make sure it all looks reassuring, that it's got good variability, a nice baseline, that there's, we see some accelerations and there's no deceleration. So all of that, just general health thing. And also I would do another stretch and sweep at the same time. And then at 40 weeks and 5 days, I'd do another CTG. I'd do another stretch and sweep, and also probably be having a little discussion in conjunction with an obstetrician, to be talking about booking this woman in for an induction, for a post-dates induction. Typically it's 41 weeks and 6 days, or 42 weeks. So that would be the normal process for a healthy, normal baby pregnancy. So anyway, that's all for today. Hopefully that's very helpful. Bye everybody.